how can structural realism present itself uh, as a competing theory to our universe? So, what does it mean by being a structural realist? So, a structural realist might say that there are an underlying structure in our universe which governs all the reality that that basically states that this structure might be independent from our mind, and that the structure recedes first before the entity came. So, for example, like a very popular known structure are the sets of natural numbers, and then sets of how a thing is larger than another thing, etc. So, how would a structure really present itself, and how can I support its argument? So, imagine I will draw a circle. This is a red circle. Then, okay, and then I will draw another circle, which it is a green circle. Okay, it is a larger, more larger circle. Okay, so how can I present myself as an structural realist, and how would you uh, relate these relations between circle? Let's say the circle is circle B, and this one is circle A. So a structural realist might say that there are a larger than structure, which we can say that let me put it this in this fact: B is larger than A. So you might be thinking that, well, if we track back, we know that how the structure resides is that the B is drawn larger than A. Hence, the entity of B have a property of being larger. The property can be described by its radius and its diameter, and etc., and or its circumference, or and then the A can also be described by that. But what do they fail to recognize? The entity realist is that how this the B, the larger than, this imply if we draw, or if we distinguish only the one part of the circle, either it's A itself, uh, it is independent from all, then we will not know whether the A is the larger circle. What does it mean by that? What I mean is that if we think of that there are we uh, we can relatively compare any circles, any different kind of circles at all, is that we need some kind of parameters, be it by radius, be it by radius, uh, be it by radius, or be it by the diameter, or we can also compare it by the circumference, or the area of the circle. Also, the area uh, can be part of the how we can how we can know whether a circle is greater than the other, area and circumference. Sorry, yeah, my writing's kind of bad. So, what does it mean by how can the structure really present itself here? So, what I mean is that if you want to kind of like uh, describe how each can be different, or each have some kind of like different qualities, be it by radius, diameter, area, and circumference, these are part of a undergoing structure, or undergoing kind of like parameter, or undergoing uh, size relative um, framework that we can uh, measure between both the circles. So what I mean is that if you distinguish only the A, let me redraw the A circle, which kind of like it is not part of the A and B space. It is indifferent. Sorry. Okay. So we draw the A here. What does it imply? It implies that if we only know for our world that there are only a circle, we cannot know whether there are larger circles in the first place, or that we just realize that our entire reality will only consist of this a circle. So what I mean is that how each part can be different. How you can know that the two is larger than one or three is larger than two, etc. Is that these variables or these independent constants can only be described where there are underlying structure that models these variables. So let me give you another example. So we have the sets of natural numbers. Say it is one, two, three, yeah, to infinity, etc. And then we have uh, let's say just four here. So if we kind of like take if we kind of forget that the natural numbers exist in the first place and only know four as our numbers, we don't even know there are numbers other than four in the first place. What I mean is that the four in its entirety will construct how our reality behaves. Like, yeah, this is they can be the only part of our reality. I mean, this inscribes that uh, there are no relations to something at all, or that even if we take it to extreme, that this fall doesn't entails any meaning at all. If we kind of like dispatch its the variable, the full variable from the entire natural numbers, the four independent of natural numbers won't give any exact meaning. So how does the four in itself have any meaning at all? Is if we kind of like construct the entire number in the first place. So one, two, three, four, and five, and etc. We know that there are some kind of like undergoing structure. Like in my earlier videos, I've been talking about the piano axiom as the laws on how numbers operate in the first place, or how we can add numbers at all. So yeah, the piano axioms. So if this four, we know that this four entails any meaning in this kind of like the natural numbers, because it is placed between 3 and 5. So here, let me think about you this way. If there are no natural numbers and we just know that there are 4, then 4 will not really entails any meaning at all. The 4 in its entirety have its meaning when it is placed within the structure of a natural number. So we know that 4 is a one larger number than 3, but one less number than 5. It is because it entails within some kind of like underlying structure. So what I mean is that I don't really necessarily believe that the entity realist is wrong by any standard. But what I mean is that the entity, when it is kind of like dispatch or distinguish itself from its entire structure that models and how or how it operates within that kind of model, it will lose its meaning entirely. It will lose its property. It doesn't entail any meaning at all. So the only way that that entity will give us some kind of understanding, or I may call it this kind of substance or something, is when we relate that entity, the substance, to a some part of other things than itself. So when we think about it, like humanity or Homo sapiens in general, we always think of structures first, not how we can distinguish the parts first, but we have this kind of structure which then each of these variables can be determined or described or distinguished with each other, etc. So my argument in support of the structural realist is that. So yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't actually refer to any philosopher or analytic philosopher at all because it just came from my own intuition, from my own understanding on how all of this operates. So feel free if you kind of like have some inputs in the comments. And yeah, thank you for having me. Good day.